Hey guys, it's Coolian with another ROM review, and this time I've got the update for the MSM Xtended, now the version 5.5, so stay tuned for that. So guys, the MSM Xtended ROM, it's no secret that this is one of my favorite ROMs for the OnePlus 3, and it's for a reason. It has a lot of features, it has good enough battery life, it has great performance, and it is a very stable build, and I really like that. Let's get started now. First of all, what you just saw there was the ambient display. Ambient display works, you don't need to worry about that. Something which I do want to mention is that this thing, do remember that because it is something which I really like. Let's get started. First of all, this is a launcher with which it comes with a quick step. So with quick step you can get all these stuff also in the pie style recent menu, so that's also there. Let's get to the status bar and let's get to the about phone page and see what all is going on in here. Now in the about phone page you can see about Xtended. It does come with an OTA updater, and they have actually said that the OTA updater will work with this version and all. Apart from that, you can also check what this ROM is about. It is Android 9.0. It is based on a Pi. It does use the October 5 security patches. As far as I know, the latest version is not out yet. That is the November patches. But it'll be coming soon. Anyways, the kernel with which it uses is Marity's kernel, which is version 44, which is a new version which has added a few things like darkness governor, which is one of my favorite governors because it gives a great battery life. I really like that. So there are a few things. You can go to their forum to get it done. Something which you might have noticed is that the build number still says version 5 rather than 5.5. That's nothing to be worried about because 5.5 is a very small incremental update, so they didn't really update that. That's pretty much it in the about phone page. If you want a full rundown of all the features which is available with this ROM, you can go ahead and check out my previous ROM review, which will be in the description below. You can go to that link and check it out because I have done that. It does have a lot of features. I am going to let you guys know what are all the updates with it. Few things, as you can see, well, the OLT icon is available there, and that's a pretty funky little icon. I really like that. For people who think that it's slightly taller than the other icons, I mean, I get you. I did think of that sometimes too, but it works, so you don't have to worry about that. Now another thing which is really important is that all the three ROMs which I just mentioned, Havoc, MSM Xtended and Skydragon, all of these use Dragon toolchain, which is a great toolchain as far as I know, and that is the reason all of these ROMs are very smooth, and in day-to-day operation it is one of the smoothest ROMs which you can get. Something else which you might want to notice is that it has added curves to the end of it, so you can, I'm not really sure if you can see that, but it has added the curves. So that is a theming feature which is available with this ROM. Say what you will about the curves, I like it, but just because it just gives it a little bit more edge to it, pun intended. Anyways, now let's get to the extra stuff. All the extra stuff is inside the extensions. I have already gotten a rundown of all of this. Just gonna give you guys the extra stuff. All of these are unchanged from the previous version. What has changed is in the record room, in the system themes, there are a few new themes now. I'm right now using the 00 theme, which is dark with white. I mean, monochrome option, which it really does work out. It does come with a clear option and Isoother, and also I guess B Extended. These are all available. Works really well. I'm not going to tell you this is better than the other one. You can be the judge of that yourself, but for the most part it is really cool. As you can see, the clear background and all that, it works really well. Right now I'm using Isoother. It's a greenish and a bluish theme. So now apart from that, in the quick setting tile style, there has been a few tiles style which has added. I have already done the Havoc ROM, and in that there are a few more options, but this does work out really well. So this is the one which I'm using. There's also two-tone and there's a squarical, something like that. I like this one best, so it is there, it works out really well. Now there is another option in the battery style settings where you can have custom charging symbol for text style. I couldn't get this to work even if you select any of this, and if you go back and come back to this option again, it will be disabled, so it's not working right now, but it's a cool concept. It was available with Nougat Resurrection Remix and other ROMs, which I really like because it will give you a flash sign on the status bar whenever it is charging. I like that. Now something new with this ROM is that there are a lot of options with which it comes to colors and all that. Like the clock options, you do have clock font, and font styles are available. There is a lot more fonts available now. Neon, as you can see, that has changed it. There is Samsung Google Sans is also available, which you can customize. There is a lot to do with the visualization of this ROM. Colors can be customized, so you can have red if you want to. I'm not really sure why you would want to have that. It does have a lot of things. Carrier label settings are also available. Again, the same thing, you have colors, font customization, everything. Now, something other than that, in the gesture options, it has added gesture anywhere, and if you know me, I am a huge fan of gesture anywhere because it had worked really well for me. You add a gesture for, I don't know, maybe an application, like for example, if I want to have Android open up anywhere, so, and if I do an A and I press done, right now when I press this on any screen it works, and if I do that, it will open up any Androids. That it is very useful, so I really like that. Now in the lock screen options, a lot of changes has come up. There is a lock screen weather options are also available. You have a lot more options. You have font option for each and every of that thing. Now I have done a custom thing here, and it just works out really well. I really like that. So the font on the icon, the clock can be customized, the date can be customized, the town name, the temperature gauge can be customized, and also the icon can be customized, which is always there, and it works out really well. I have customized it to this one. It does work out really well. I really like that. Clock font options, date font options, owner info font options also available. Clock sizes can be customized, which is pretty damn awesome. I really like that. So you can see I have just increased the size of it. It works, and this kind of reminds me of Nougat, where I had all the options, especially the selection remix on Nougat. I mean, that is still one of my ideal ROMs for the features it actually offered, and I really like that. So this is coming back to that. I'm really happy about it. Apart from that, there are all the options which you have had in other previous ROMs, so it is all here. You can also hide the bottom text and also bottom icon. Also the shortcut icon can be disabled from here, so it does work out really well. One more thing, in the quick setting panel, or quick setting options, it has added the Havoc style quick setting configurator. So what that means is that you have a tile or a slider for the number of tiles and all that. It does still support the small tile, which is there. Tile title can be enabled or disabled. Slider is available. Brightness icon is also available now. And one more thing, it also has that A, which was available in Arrow ROM, I want to say, which had that A button there in the slider itself when the auto mode is enabled. So if you disable that, that'll go away too. So I kind of like that. It is one of those small things which I really like. One more thing, it does have settings menu, but you have to disable that option in the settings menu to have it enabled. So it's kind of a dirt there, but anyways, it is there. It does have a high brightness tile, grayscale tile is also available. It works. It's pretty cool to have. Another thing is the Bluetooth battery on the status bar is available. You can enable or disable that, which I guess was there in Havoc ROM also, and I really like that. And one more thing, in the status bar options, you can hide the VLT icon if you don't need that. It works out really well. One thing which I did notice is that the brightness control tile by sliding across the status bar is still a little bit finicky. Whenever I get a call, it somehow activates it and sets it to lowest options. I have had this option or this problem with the previous version also. I normally keep it down or disable, just not have that happen. And that is pretty much it in the extra stuff. Everything else is basically what I have already mentioned in my previous videos. So that brings us to the scoring of the device. So the features, as you've already seen, it has a lot of features. It is one of the, if not the most feature-rich ROM available for our device on Pi, and I really like that. It has the awesome sliders, those shitty sliders. It has almost everything available. There are a few features which are not overlapped between Havoc and MSM Xtended. There are a few features which Havoc has, which MSM Xtended does not, and there are other features which MSM Xtended has but Havoc does not. But this is, in my opinion, a more customizable thing, even just with the lock screen options as you have seen. There are sliders for changing everything, like the colors, the font. I really like that. This lock screen is one of the screens which I end up spending almost all my time in. It's kind of better to look at it in the way I want it to, so I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10 for features. Now the battery life. The battery life is pretty great on this one. It uses MSM Xtended kernel, which was and is still one of the best kernels available for our device on a stock or in a custom ROM. I really like that. It does have a great idle range. That's what I really wanted to tell you guys. The idle range I got was about 1.2 to 1.3% or 1.4%, which is really good. I would consider that as a very good idle range. The active range was a little bit on the higher side though. I was getting 16 to 17% of active range, which is slightly higher than what I expect, but that is something which you can customize with the kernel and all that. And with the latest iteration of this kernel, you have more governors and more stuff which you can customize. It works and I really do like that. Very usable. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10 for battery life though. Now the performance of the ROM. The performance of the ROM is also pretty decent. It's not the top shelf performance which I've got from other Dragon TC versions. I got about this, the average was about 154,265, which is still a very respectable score. It's still in the threshold of what I would consider as a very good ROM. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10 for performance, and I'm just gonna let you guys know what PUBG is gonna be, because a lot of people want to know how PUBG works. So as you can see, this is PUBG, how it works. It's on medium settings, it works. I don't have much else to say about it. It works as good as you would expect any other ROM to do. I've been okay with it. I don't really play a lot of PUBG, but still, for the most part, it works. Extremely honestly, if you want to play PUBG and if you are really serious about it, I suggest you upgrade the device, because it is now 2 years, and I think even Google wants you to update the device because that's how much they give you the updates for. So here it is, works really well. I don't have much else to talk about it. Now comes the stability of the ROM. Stability of the ROM is also pretty good, but as I've already said, I have had a little bit of issues with the brightness slider. One thing, where the brightness slider just goes bonkers, and I just disabled the swipe gesture on the status bar because of that. With it disabled, it works pretty well. But I mean, that's not something which I want from this ROM. But I mean, these niggles, I mean, when a ROM is so good, these small things just seem like such a big deal. So yeah, that's one thing. I'm gonna give it a 6.8 out of 10 for stability. Now the camera. The camera is actually pretty special. In this one, it comes with snap camera. I think this is the snap camera. It has a pro mode, it has an automatic mode, it has scene modes. It works. I really like this. It does have a photo mode and also video mode on the same screen, which is pretty cool and very rare to find. But I mean, it does work with Gcam, and that is what I use on a daily, and it does work out really well. Don't have any issues with that. It does have more options than the stock one, so I'm really happy about that. But I think this package is much better. The snap camera is there for the utmost stability. If you have no time in the world and you just need to take a picture of a document and just run, this one is available. But if you want a more artistic photos, you can install Gcam and get a better photos with that also, which really does work out. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 for camera. Now the aesthetics of the ROM. Aesthetics of the ROM is pretty good. It works. It does have more options than the Skydragon ROM, which had almost the same theming engine. One thing which I do want to mention is that as like Skydragon, it did have the artifacts or the glitches in the graphics whenever I had this thing on. So this one will be mirrored here and overlapping on the battery and the time, which does happen sometimes, but I mean, it's not a huge deal honestly, but whenever it happens, it is a little bit jarring. So that is there. Apart from that, everything is basically the same. I have already shown you guys the theming engine. It works out really well. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10 for aesthetics. Now the overall experience of the ROM. I really like this ROM. It has a lot going for it. As I've already said, Dragon toolchain is one of the revelations on this ROM, because the ROM made with that is really great. The compiled with that is really great. It works. It is very smooth, and the user experience front of it is really great. I really like that. And this kernel has a lot of governors, a lot of customization built into it. Now everything which I did today is with the stock one, with the interactive kernel and the stock how it comes. I haven't flashed the new kernel or I flashed it again or anything like that. There are some issues with this ROM, like the brightness slider issue, which yes, it is a very minor issue, and you can just get it off with just disabling the brightness slider or the brightness swipe to slide, and that is fixed now. I did have one more issue where the signals is not very consistent. I did have an issue where it would just jump around at the same place. When the phone is just sitting at the same place, it would just jump around, and I didn't have that issue with any other ROM. Even with the previous version, I did not have that. The developer did say in the changelog for this version or this update that they have fixed it. I mean, it seems that I've actually had that issue now than the previously. I'm gonna give it a 7.8 out of 10 for overall experience. It's just a little bit lower than 8 though. So guys, there you have it. That is the MSM Xtended ROM. I'm not going to show you guys the boot animation. You have already seen the boot animation if you have seen my other video. I'm gonna give the final score for it. The final score is coming to about 7.202072539. That is the final score for it. And that's gonna give up to 7.2, which is right up there with Skydragon and Havoc ROM, which is in my opinion one of the best ROMs available for the device. I mean, as I've already said about the Havoc ROM, this is another one of those ROM if you want to show off your device to your friends and you want to invite them to the custom roaming scene. This is probably it. In closing, MSM Xtended, one of the best ROMs available for OnePlus 3. I really like it. These three ROMs, man, I'm just switching between these three ROMs, Havoc, MSM Xtended and Skydragon. I just can't seem to find the middle ground and just can't seem to settle on one. I guess how much is it about the video then. Hope you guys liked the video. Please share, subscribe and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.